Thank you. Thank you. Thank. You. Hello everyone, I'm the okayest bassist, and this is the BASSics Volume 82, This is the approximately weekly live stream podcast, whatever you want to call it, that I do, where we do lessons. Now, those could be lessons in how to do a particular song. Those could be lessons in how to properly use a certain technique. Or sometimes they're just life lessons. Things like don't spend money you don't have on stuff you don't need. This week, I'm going to do what I try to do about every month or so, except instead of looking at the used market off the get-go, I want to look at some of the new stuff. I was on Sweetwater earlier, and I happened to see that they had some new listings drop. Let me share the screen. Hopefully it will work. There's Infinity. Pull up Sweetwater. Well, first, whether you like it or not, I should probably be there somewhere. Don't do that. How about this one? Good enough. Okay. So, pull up Sweetwater, looking at new. Sadly, unlike the tech world where you have Apple who releases a new thing in like September, you have Samsung who releases new things in around April. There's not dedicated new drops except for things like NAMM, Guitar Summit, things like that. The really big shows. Sometimes new stuff gets announced a lot around NAMM, but outside of that, I haven't seen any rhyme or reason. So we're just going to look at what Sweetwater shows. I have already put it to base, and I've already sorted it with new arrivals. So we see the NAMM release of the new F10s from Sire. So the Sire Marcus Miller, this is the headless 6-string F10 Deluxe with the spalted maple. This is the F10 double cut, the DC. They are the same instrument, just different top, and this one is double cut instead of single cut. You can see this one is the 5-string, but this has the head stock as opposed to headless. And then these are finally the new hydro dipped, the gray, the blue. They do have the 4-string multi-scale, so those who wanted a 4-string, and the F10 now comes in a 4-string. So if you're not a 5 player, you can get the F10, the faux Dara, my joke, no matter what anybody says. You can also get the 5-string headless. There's a 5-string of the double cut, but instead of the dual humbucker, this one has the P and J situation going on. You can also get a 4-string headless of the deluxe. And then you get into things like the actual Federas. So that is the last new release. We also have a bunch of Sadowski Metro lines. We have Schecter Devil 4s. We've got a bunch of different stuff in there. We go further down, we can see there's some Sadowskis here that are single cut. I like that shape. I don't care for this extra long bit. Kind of reminds me of an Explorer shape, or like the Meteora. I do like the Fender Meteora. If they make that in a 5-string, that'd be fantastic. But these are all like $3,000 and $5,000. There's a new Ibanez, and I saw it earlier, and I really like this finish, frozen gold matte. Now there was one of these. So this is the one that I really liked. That is pretty. Really like that finish. Like fades to black, but they have the gold coloring on top of the wood. The other one, I think, was the one that was 713 weight. So very similar. Like it's interesting that the branch is kind of coming, what looks to be branches, like off the center of the pickup on both sides. And then the other one, that was the 8-pound 1 ounce. It was, well, come on, do the zoom. Like it's just right around that same area. So I don't know if this is all just from like one, maybe all of these came from like the same piece of wood. I don't know. I really like the look of the 7-pound 13 one. I really like that like finish. That is really nice, but it has the stupid jack that I absolutely hate. So I do like the gold hardware. Black switch though. Like, why you got a black switch? You can have gold knobs, gold here. I'm sure the headstock tuners are gold. Headstock tuners are gold. Why not just have a gold switch? But that was the first page. We scroll out of Sweetwater, head over to Musician's Friend. They always have interesting situations on their new because they're not as bad as Toman. Toman's website, you go on there and you sort things by new, and everything that has an accessory is new. Like, oh, well, we have this guitar that we've had for 2 years, but now we offer it with a gig bag and it's at the top. But going through there, they only have these few listed, which are all Rogues, which I believe is their in-house brand now. Fender, Yamaha, New Bongo. Few things in there, but nothing. This is not new. That's interesting. That is, I would not pay that. But that's an interesting finish option you could choose. So nothing here marked as like new. These have been around for a while, so apparently nothing new and fancy over in the world of Musician's Friend. Let's go to their parent, sister. I don't know how that works with them. I don't know which one is the owner. That's interesting. The dark versus light wood on the fingerboards, some gold right there. I will say, I really like the look of a bongo, but they look somehow better with the 5 than the 4 string, and I think the 6 just looks too wide. I don't know. Could just be me. A whole bunch of Fender and Squire stuff. And then that same weird Ibanez. So all Fender. Fender James Jamerson, 1962. That's not that new. It's not his, but it's not that new. Pop over. I don't often shop. Like I don't think I've ever actually bought anything from Z Sounds. They have that same Schecter Devil 4. That looks to be a left hand. I didn't see Michael Kelly 5 string for $229. I'm guessing this is their in-house brand. Nice purple. I love that bridge. I love a drop-in bridge, and it looks like it's string through body. Yup, string through body. I mean, I don't care about what wood it's made of. That is wired with a tried and true split jazz configuration. The SP Pinnacle 5 features SP Rockfield R pickups. I guess like little R in a circle, like trademark or whatever that is. I have never heard of this. Again, I suspect it's their in-house brand, but I'd love to try that out. Looks like it's passive, volume tone or volume blend tone. I may have to reach out to them and ask what I'd be able to do for a demo. Fender, bongo, a left-handed BTB, left-handed EHB, more Fender, Sire V1, cheap, Lakeland with Geezer Butler signature. So I wonder, does this have the Geezer Butler EMGs? Looks like it might. Yep, Geezer Butler EMGs. I like those. I also like their bridge. I think their bridge will look really cool with the Delano X Tender pickup, also an oval. I think that'd be a cool combination. I don't have the money to ask them to make one. That'd be really cool looking, especially like with the big one and then the little P pickup up above it. I think that'd be cool. Finally, not going to be a long episode by any stretch. I just wanted to hop into Reverb and look at. You have to. Oh, that's right. With Reverb, you have to click guitars to look at bass. Anyway, bass guitar. Let's go with filter 5-string only. We don't need 4-string stinkiness. This one's been on here a bunch. Like, I think we saw that last time at like $10,000 for this guy. American Professional Hembry. Hembry. No clue. Fender. Hey, there's a Starling bongo. That's the black. Purple's way better. Got some expensive stuff. Glary. If you want your information shared across the entire internet, you could do something with them. Ooh, I've been looking one of these. That's probably why that's there. 470. Someone had one of like this exact model, like the white one, 5-string on my local Facebook for $500. Now, granted, I think they have like an amp and a cable and everything to come with it, but it's like, no, no. I could buy the bass brand new for cheaper and not have an extra little amp that I don't need. What else they got here? Well, that's a shape. It's a weird shape. Is it fretless? No, that's fretted. I thought they were lined fretless. So that's just a ramp. Bad stroke. 36 to 38? 38 inch. That's long. That's an inch longer on the low B than a Dingwall. Crazy. Wins. That's the same price, I believe, as their website, so that's probably them selling it directly. I don't see. Let's go back up here. Let's get rid of new and used. Let's just look at used. And then B stock. Excellent. Very good. Good. And that should be enough. Let's see what we have for the rest of the first page, because that got rid of the new. I'm not looking at new if I'm on Reverb. I'll buy from the website the place sells from directly. That does not look like an electric bass to me. That is also not in any price range I've ever had. I do love that finish. I do love that finish. But not going to pay $1,200 for Fender. Doesn't give Fender money to buy used, so feel free to buy Fender. Don't listen to me on that. I'm not paying that for one. Not unless it's someone I knew personally who absolutely vouched for the instrument, and then I played it and I liked it. My big thing is I hate returning stuff to people. I don't mind it to companies. Like, companies know what they're in for. I've asked Tim multiple times just personally, hey, if I don't like this, is it okay if I send it back? And they have a lot of open box stuff, and they sell a lot of open box stuff. And the downside is, in this business, they understand, hey, people, musical instruments are a feel, try, deal with it situation, not just a, oh yeah, it's a thing I'm going to plug in somewhere and it does its job. Like, you have to like it, you have to like what it does, how it feels, all that fun. There was one that I liked. This one's interesting. Like, just a body? That seems expensive for a body. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe they run more than that normally, but it just seems okay. We have a 5-string gecko bass, and then we have a 5-string gecko bass neck. I'm gonna guess these two just might be being sold by the same person, and they're getting almost $900 between selling those two things, and doesn't even have electronics. There's a Lakeland Sky, so another Lakeland there. That's pretty cool. My brother-in-law was looking at some of these. He likes this silver grain black EHB. Told him I love the EHBs. I have 2 on my wall. Told him if you really wanted one, I might be able to be convinced to part with it. F bass, that looks a lot like the one Scott Devine has in his videos. Let's go one more page, see what we have. Well, that's a decision. pointy headstock. Pointy body. That is Sharking. Sharking from Luthery 2003 with its original gig bag. Not a secondary aftermarket gig bag. None of that. Like that. Like that color. That purple's pretty cool. Not really seeing anything. That's expensive. 13 grand. Probably charge you to try it out. Oh, that's what I was saying. Like to a company like Sweetwater, I don't have a problem doing a return. But if I buy it from a person, someone's out the shipping. A company gets a big discount on shipping stuff. I'm not that worried about that. I know those are weird looking, but I like them. I like an Aerodyne. That's pretty neat. And it's also here. I'm not even now $200 shipping. Screw that. And that right there. Like I could buy it. I could try it. I could like it. But what if I don't? I buy a thing from a person. I just paid $200 in shipping. Hey, I want to return this. Okay, cool. Ship it back. Okay, so I'm out $200 plus return shipping, and it's for having tried a base. No. It's one of the reasons why, unless I absolutely know I want something or it's an absolute steal of a deal, I try to not buy used off of like Reverb. I'll try something local. Ooh, Reverend Triad 5 string for $900. Let's just save that. Okay, let's not save that because I am not signed in. I'll have to remember to find that on my phone. $900, pretty good price, like $400 off. Warwick, double buck, 3 grand. Whew. More money than I have. Interesting. 2 BTBs. Like, do you not look on the site before you post stuff? I mean, I did the guide a while back of if you're going to sell stuff, do this. But like that person, it's listed is international. So yeah, it's international. Never mind. It's converting the price from their currency to ours. That's why it's being weird. And then this one's 13. So it's cheaper and it's local. And that is weird. Is that like a little tiny base? Yeah, it's one of the little tiny bases. Heck with that. Don't need any of that nonsense. Another BTB, EHB, but not an MS. I like the multi-scale. Cool looking dingwall. But no, that was basically what I had. I think it's cool to kind of look at the market stuff, see what's going on. Not necessarily the stop sharing the screen. Stop. Not necessarily specifically the stuff on new, the stuff on used, but the new stuff like the Sire stuff coming out. Also, like just looking at things, pretty easy to notice that Sweetwater has more new stuff and it's listed as new more than the Guitar Center Musicians Friend stuff. So that is definitely one of the things I noticed that I hadn't noticed before. Z-Sounds had some of the same new stuff, but it didn't seem to be to the extent of Sweetwater. And I love Sweetwater. Tim, shout out Tim, Tim Van Slake. So you can reach out to him. He'll cut you a deal. Tell him I sent you. The okayest bassist, Travis, because he probably doesn't know my channel name. Maybe he does. I don't know. Not 100% sure. But had a 30-minute countdown to do a 20-minute episode. Not that bad. I've done worse. I've had huge countdown and then little bitty tiny episode. But that's about all I had this week. Remember, if you've made it this far, remember next week on the live, we are supposed to have Ron Deneau from Hills, distributor for Hills America, as well as a couple other things. We'll probably talk about all of them. Hopefully, we have a couple of other guests with us so that it's not just me asking questions. But that should be a good time. I will put the information out on the YouTube to let everyone know that it is coming. And then I'll probably end up taking some clips out of the video to post as a separate YouTube video, just as like an extra fluff piece on like a Friday. So, as always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a day as awesome as you are.